Right, lads, we're back with another episode. You want to say hi?
Aye.
In this one, we're going to discuss something that's happening tonight and tomorrow, and that is WrestleMania. Just a bit of background on it. It was supposed to be taking place just tomorrow night at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, and it was that stadium hosts just over 65,000 people, but they've had to, obviously with what's gone on with the coronavirus, they've had to relocate it to Orlando, where the performance center is, with no spectators in attendance for the first WrestleMania ever, and it's also the first WrestleMania to be broadcast across 2 nights, and the second Mania to ever be aired from multiple venues, because there's a few different kind of matches that aren't all in the performance center, which I suppose is a bit wild, really, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it'll be the same without the fans. Only got 16 matches to air across 2 nights, and they've pulled out all the stops as well, really, to make it as interesting as possible without having the fans there. But I don't think it'll be the same without the fans. What do you reckon?
No, I'd agree with you. It'd be the same. A lot of what makes it what it is that wrestlers not interacting with, but playing off the fans and the atmosphere they create. Yeah, that's especially WrestleMania. That's the big one. It's all about the occasion, isn't it? And the occasion would be the same without anyone there. You know, it's not only the biggest show with the biggest crowd, but I think without the fans, it's gonna suck eggs.
I mean, I don't know if it'll suck eggs, but it won't be as good. There's nowhere near it'll be as good. But as far as I'm aware, the performance center in Orlando hosts, I think, I want to say, in between 500 and 1,000 people. So that obviously from 65,000 to 1,000 max. When it doesn't matter how many people it hosts, because it's not going to be hosting any people. It's you know, and they've cut the promo as too big for just one night, which I think is, I don't know if it's a load of rubbish or not, but it's
they're just trying to dig it up, aren't they?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the matches are good. Like, some of the matches, like I even though I'm 22 and sad, I still like it. I still watch it when it's something like this, and still keep reasonably up to date. And there's some good matches, but there's some strange matches as well. Like, there's obviously the one for one the people that have watched wrestling when they were younger. Edge and Randy Orton are fighting. Like, that stands out to me, that, because that's like a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
But there's some other ones, like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Like, Seth Rollins is a really good wrestler, and I really like him, but I just think that they've rinsed him out, his character out, his new character to dry. So I'm not 100% sure whether that'll be good. There's one that you might like, Jack, and he's called Aleister Black, and he's fighting Bobby Lashley, and he was I'm just trying to find it. He was.
Is he black?
No, he's Dutch, actually.
And his name's Aleister Black.
Yeah.
And he's Bobby Lashley. He's not black.
No, he's fighting Bobby Lashley.
Oh, he's fighting Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he's fighting Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. But he is an FCP champion. He is a Special Combat Academy graduate. He's from Holland.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. He was a mixed martial artist. He was a Thai boxer before.
Thai boxer.
Yeah. So he brings it into his wrestling, and to be fair, he's very good. Like he's very good at what he does. But he's fighting Bobby Lashley, who they've rinsed out as well. So, in my opinion, they've completely milked him. He could have been someone like, they could have built him up to be someone like a Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, or someone like a big kind of powerhouse who is difficult to stop. But instead, they've put him in some shit feud with Rusev and Rusev's wife, and it's all very just.
Who won between him and Rusev?
I think he won, actually.
Because he used to be solid, Bobby Lashley, back in the day. Like, he fought Umaga and beat Umaga.
Remember that when he shaved off Vince's head?
Yeah, rest in peace, Umaga, innit?
Yeah, it's a shame. But
that Rusev's fair hard. But both Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley have both got MMA experience, haven't they? So
yeah, true.
They'll use that as well as the backup. But with him being Dutch, that's typical of there's a lot of like Thai boxers or mainly kickboxers that come out of Holland. So that's not surprising, really. And I can imagine that probably helps a lot. Having martial arts experience when going into professional wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. It's combat, isn't it? Like, regardless whether, because obviously we know that it's entertainment. That's what it is. But and it's scripted and there's a storyline behind all of it. But regardless regardless when people say that it's fake, yes, okay, there is a lot of elements to do with it that are fake. But there's still real elements of risk. There's still real stuff involved in that. Like, you can't pick someone up and drop them on the back and have it be fake.
Alright.
So, like, there are.
They're hard. Give them that.
Pardon?
They're hard, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they take beatings, don't they? They take bumps and they get injured as well. They get injured doing these kind of things. So it can't be. If it was that fake, then they wouldn't be getting injured, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, carry on without me.
Obviously takes a certain amount of charisma, whether they play up to the crowd in a positive or negative way.
Yeah, exactly. It takes, it's acting as well, isn't it? Like you see quite a few of these wrestlers that transcend into acting. Like The Rock obviously springs to mind, but there's a lot more, and they have somewhat of experience because they're that used to almost acting in front of tens of thousands of people. So I don't know. I think that there's one wrestler. Jap touched on Umaga before, and Umaga was. I don't know if you remember him, Sean. He was Samoan, and he had loads of face tattoos, and he was massive, and he was unbeatable until Bobby Lashley came along and beat him. I think Jeff Hardy might have beat him before it, but I don't know if he was related to Roman Reigns, but I think they all somewhere are kind of distant relations or cousins or something. And Roman Reigns was supposed to fight Goldberg this at WrestleMania, but obviously Roman Reigns came out at the back end of 2018 and relinquished his Universal Championship because he had his leukemia had resurfaced that he had about 12 years prior. So because of this coronavirus, he's decided to not take part in WrestleMania this year. For obviously, I'm assuming the leukemia and his underlying maybe issues or his immunosuppressant kind of condition might play a heavy part in it. But there might be other reasons why. But you've got to respect him for it, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, you'd imagine that wrestling you can't keep distance between people. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's self-isolating away from that situation. It's a respectable decision.
Yeah, he's doing it for his family, isn't he, at the end of the day? But I just think that, obviously, like, they've replaced him with Braun Strowman, who was, I think 2 years ago, everyone wanted him to get a push for a championship, and he's massive. He's like about the same size as the Big Show, but a lot leaner. He's been replaced by, he's replaced Roman Reigns in that match, and I don't know. I think as far as I'm aware, Roman Reigns was due to win tonight. There's a lot of rumours to say that he was going to win, like the championship at WrestleMania, but obviously with him not being there and not competing, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether Strowman's going to lose and then Goldberg will drop the title to Roman when it's all blown over, or Strowman will win and then let Goldberg go. But there's a few wrestlers that are supposed to be self-isolating after Mania. Daniel Bryan apparently is one of them. So there'll be a few. So like Daniel Bryan's fighting tonight for the Intercontinental Championship. If that is the case and he's supposed to be self-isolating and that's true, then he surely won't win, because I know his wife's pregnant and he's got a little girl as well. I think she's about 3, just going on to 3, I think. So his family are quite at risk of contracting stuff. So there's that aspect to it as well, I guess. But
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think they probably should have just suspended the wrestling season.
yeah, I think you're right. I think the only thing that stopped them from doing it is that Raw is the longest, gotta say this right, the longest running episodic television program in America, like ever. I want to say ever, but if that is the case, then they won't want to drop that, will they? Which is wrong, but at the same time, I can see why they don't want to drop it.
Yeah, it's an understandable reason. Yeah.
But
let's face it, national health probably does trump an ego boost.
yeah, that's true. I think that it's all very, obviously with everything that's going on. I suppose one side of it is that it's good because there's still an escape from it all. Like, they're providing one almost, be it under different circumstances. They're still providing an escape for people, and I suppose it being over 2 nights, you could argue that, like what Jack said before about they're trying to big it up. They might be trying to big it up, but they might also be trying to stack it completely so that they're giving mostly the American public, because that's, the time that it's on here is midnight, isn't it? But providing the American public and the world with something to take the mind off it. And some of the matches will be good. Like, some of the matches will definitely be good. Like the AJ Styles is always a good match. He's a good wrestler, so that'll be a good match against the Undertaker. There's Drew McIntyre, who's from Ayr in Scotland. He's due to beat. I think he's going to beat Brock Lesnar tonight. So that'll be an interesting match.
Scottish.
He's Scottish, yeah.
Training the weekends he has.
He was training in the Highlands, wasn't he? Not so long ago. He did a
With
promo.
rocks and such.
Yeah, he was doing a promo for BT Sport because they got the rights, didn't they, to WWE in England. But
After Roman Reigns pulled out for being scared.
well, I mean, scared, I think, is probably a little bit harsh. Yeah.
Scared, isn't he?
But Sean and I touched on that then when you were gone about Roman not competing, which I suppose is, like Sean said, it's a respectable decision because at the end of the day, you can't isolate. You can't keep 2 feet away, like Sean said.
Well, that's it.
So,
That's the issue, isn't it?
So that is, that's the thing. And like I said to Sean, then quite a few of these wrestlers are due to be self-isolating after this, and a few of them are due to be isolating. The ones that are due to be isolating, some of them are competing for titles. So you'd only imagine that the ones that are supposed to be isolating would either be dropping the titles that they've got or not winning the titles.
Well, we'll see it. But surprised it's still going ahead, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not on lockdown now, because it seems like we're on lockdown, I don't think, not yet.
I think it varies around state by state, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like California, it's a high lockdown.
Yeah, correct, Sean, correct.
I imagine Washington probably is too, because I know Seattle's not faring brilliantly.
So you can only imagine Orlando isn't on, like Florida isn't on that much of a lockdown, is it?
No, I don't think so.
But I mean, I suppose it's all right for the wrestlers because it was supposed to be in Tampa, and now it's in Orlando. So it's not too far away, is it?
No, that's the place.
Too much for them where it's going to be,
Like for the wrestlers, I suppose they don't have to travel that far, do they?
Either way, it's the same state, so yeah, someone's going to have a home field advantage. Especially, I suppose the lack of a crowd would probably, remove that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone competing tonight are actually from Orlando. I know The Rock is. I know The Rock gets introduced as like his hometown. But
he's from Orlando.
Well, I'm sure that I've seen him introduced from Orlando. Like, he either lives there. I think he lives there. But I'm saying to Sean before
Class Florida.
Pardon?
It's class Florida.
I wouldn't know. I've never been, unfortunately.
Crazy place.
But like I said to Sean before, there are some good there are some good matches to watch, like to be on. But it's just like there's a boneyard match between Undertaker and AJ Styles. No one knows what a boneyard match is. There's never been one. No one's like, there's been no stipulations or anything like that disclosed. There's a Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
What do you think this boneyard match is going to be then?
I don't know. I don't even know what a boneyard is. I assume it's just a yard with bones in it.
Maybe it's a fight to the death.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think that I know he's still going, and I know for the past 6 years since he's been beaten, he's still fought at every Mania. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and I respect him, and he's one of the best, if not the best, that's ever got in a ring. But just Undertaker, please fuck off, man. Like he's incredible.
What's his record, Ron? What's his record?
I think it's like he got beat by Roman Reigns not so long ago at Mania. It's like
at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's like something like. I think I want to say it's like 25 or 26-2, but he's been beaten.
They've ruined that.
Exactly.
They've ruined it. He should never lose at WrestleMania. He should just retired.
I just think that when they killed it with Brock Lesnar and everyone, it shocked the world. There was so many better ways they could have done that, and I think there was so many better wrestlers that could have beat him.
Yeah.
Because like this is the man that Brock Lesnar turns up when he wants, does what he wants, gets paid the most money out of all the wrestlers. He has the life of Riley, and someone that works hard like Seth Rollins or like Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston fought him and he got squashed. Like it was this massive build up with Kofi Kingston to win the title against Daniel Bryan. He did it. He had a good defense for a couple of months, and then on the debut of SmackDown on Fox, he fought Brock Lesnar for the championship. He lost it within 8 seconds. He ran at Brock. Brock picked him up, F5'd him, pinned him. That was it. And that obviously, as much as like, it's part of the story and whatever. And yes, in real life, Brock Lesnar probably would maul him in 8 seconds, but like that's come from Vince. That has come from Vince McMahon. Right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna end your title reign, Kofi, in 8 seconds. Imagine that.
Well, it might not be Vince. He might have story writing that. You know what I mean?
There's a few of them. There's a few that write the stories, but obviously Vince approves of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he, I think the only one that he doesn't have any control over, Vince, is NXT, and that is why NXT is the best out of the three brands, because Triple H has full control over that.
Fair play.
And it's just like, so Kofi Kingston loses the title within 8 seconds. It's ridiculous. Like, it must be embarrassing for him. But
Yeah, but it won't be embarrassing when he's walking to the bank with £1 million in his back pocket.
Yeah, that's true. Depends what you're more bothered about, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah, but if you're in that business, really, like, you're not. Even if you become a great like John Cena or something, it's just all fake, isn't it? Really, like you've definitely worked hard for it, and you've got to respect John Cena for what he's done, but you can't walk around and say I'm like one of the greatest fighters or something like that, because it's just all a big show.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. What do you really want? If you wanted greatness, then why wouldn't you try and actually do it in a sport?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I find that some of these wrestlers as well are like dropouts of sports, like say proper sports, like the product of them. Like, so like Brock was actual like wrestling, like proper wrestling, not like entertainment. Shelton Benjamin was wrestling. Bobby.
But he was a good wrestler, bro.
Yeah, well he used it, didn't he?
Killing people. He was massive. He was like he was a beast, and like you only see him when he was a kid there. He was just ripping people to shreds.
Like The Rock and Roman Reigns both did American football.
Yeah.
There's probably a few more that I can't think of. Drew McIntyre was rugby.
Rock did American football, for a bit.
Did it?
Yeah.
I just think that some of the wrestlers that could have beat Undertaker to end that streak, you wanted someone to beat Brock. And I know that Brock Lesnar's like, since then he's pushed on, he's won titles and held them for ages. But you want someone like to have beaten the Undertaker and then gone on to be like someone that turned out to be like The Rock, like who just was incredible. Like had that was the push that they got to then put them on the same path as like John Cena or The Rock or even someone like the Undertaker.
I don't think there's anyone who really should have beat Taker at the WrestleMania. I just don't. I feel like it's just ruined it. But it'd be a bit easier to swallow if it was someone like The Rock, like a true legend, or John Cena or something.
Mm.
A true legend of the sports. I think they're not. I know Brock's solid and all that, but he's not like a true legend of the sport, really. Of the organisation, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think that it would have been good if Undertaker, now would have still had the streak. John Cena's got 16 championships. He's 16-time world champion, and Ric Flair's the same. So he's on level with Ric Flair as the most titles of all time. If Undertaker then picked up a championship now, and then John Cena beat him at WrestleMania to retire him, and won the championship, and then got the 17th title. Whereas now,
that's it. If he loses at WrestleMania, like when he lost at WrestleMania, I was like, well, that's it now. Like, you can't come back after that.
No.
That should have been the end of him if you lose at WrestleMania.
You just have to look at the people he's fought since then. Like, he's fought. I know he's fought. Well, he's fighting AJ Styles tonight. He fought Roman Reigns not so long ago. He absolutely squashed John Cena in a match last year. I can't think of what else he's fought. But people, like random people, just call him out now. You know, like people you just don't expect. Like AJ Styles, when did anyone expect AJ Styles to call him out?
He's got no business calling him out, really.
Exactly. And then he's there. Well, then AJ Styles called him out, and everyone was kind of like, "Well, why the fuck are you doing that?" You know, like people on Twitter and stuff. And then AJ Styles then ripped into him personally, rather than as the Undertaker. Oh, you know, you're old, you passed it. Like he went into him about like the actual like Mark Calloway, and then that actually made it quite interesting. But then that then brought the Undertaker, as much as amazing as a promo it was the other like this past week on Raw that he did. It was like Undertaker saying, "I'm talking to Alan Jones, and this is Mark Calloway talking to Alan Jones." I'm thinking, no, it's not Mark Calloway, it's the Undertaker. Fuck my childhood up again, you dick, and I won't watch it.
Oh, that's it,
Comes out in a box, some leather pants. Like, no, get that full unitard on and put that top hat on, you twat. It's just...
Yeah, well, it's like with John Cena as well. A lot of people don't like John Cena, do they? Well, we like him, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of people don't like him. I really don't. He's an absolute...
I think that's a good one, though. I don't know why.
Like, if I was going to make a Mount Rushmore of WWE superstars, he'd be on that for me.
Yeah, he's got to be.
But
He's the modern day guy. I mean, he's like the modern day guy. He's you know, no one's worked as hard as him, and no one's been doing it as long as he has.
exactly. Like,
He's the guy.
if you ask me, my Mount Rushmore is John Cena, The Undertaker, The Rock, and Stone Cold. It's between Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan, and I know that I'm dropping Ultimate Warrior, but it is between them two. But I've got...
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't think you can leave out like Hulk Hogan because he started it all. You've got to put Hulk Hogan in, like he started it. Like when he suplexed Andre the Giant, like that's what started this whole thing. Really, like that's it. So I think you got to put Hogan in there. I feel like what on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, like out of the four that I've picked, who would you change?
Well, I think I'm starting to think not of the Undertaker because of what he's become.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? What he's become, he's just ruined it. You know, if he'd have left when he was on top, then maybe I'd have put him in. It's hard to not put him in. There's so many great people, you know, like leaving out people like Triple H and Ric Flair and
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Bret Hart, all these.
Even someone like Edge or Mick Foley. I just think that it's like you say, it is hard, and there's so many others as well, like modern day. There's so many modern day ones. Edge, Randy Orton, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't put them in the same context.
I think you could mount an argument for Randy Orton.
I won't put, like respect him in that, but you can't. I don't think you can put him up with people like Stone Cold or The Rock. But even The Rock, really, I don't think I put The Rock in there.
I think The Rock's remembered more for what he said rather than what he did. I think. Like
he had a good stint in WWE, and he was good and all that. But like, you know, he started off in WWE, but he's became such a big star since he left there and started doing movies. You know, he didn't become a huge star from just WWE. Whereas John Cena, really, he's just a WWE guy. So Hulk Hogan and so Stone Cold.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about Stone Cold as well. You know, like, I'll think about someone like him.
He was incredible. He was the first one that actually went against the system, wasn't he? Like he went against Vince, and they had that big feud, and it was shocking to everyone because, you know,
such a badass.
Oh, he was class. But I don't know, Sean. Do you have enough background knowledge about wrestling to mount a Mount Rushmore?
No, I know names. I didn't watch it as a child.
What names do you know? Give me the four most. Give me the four biggest names you know, and that can be yours.
Well, I'd go with John Cena because he seems to have still always been there, always been on top.
It's a fair argument. Next one, Sean.
They've always got the old classic ones. I mean, what you've got? What like Big Show and stuff.
Big Show.
Was that before the time of WWE?
No, Big Show was in WWE. Yeah, Big Show. To be fair, Big Show's been underrated. You know, like he's been the Big Show.
Yeah.
Big Show was there for years, and he just got used as the big guy. He never really got the push that he probably deserved.
No, but he was it's a fair legend.
Right. What about Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio,
Yeah,
Chris Benoit?
yeah.
There's some Kane. There's some massive ones.
I know there's a lot of legends in their own right.
I mean, I remember Hulk Hogan was the one that used to inspire Jack.
Oh, Jack used to love him, didn't he?
Yeah, he's always been my guy, really, Hulk Hogan. Don't know why. He's just always been the guy, hasn't he? He's the man.
He flexes at the start of every match.
What?
With his flexes at the start of every match.
Yeah. But you say inspiration from that, Jack? Yeah. He changed his thing. He was like he had a few different things. Like he was Hulk Hogan, and there was like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, where he wear like black pants and like a black bandana, and he had like a black stubble, but a big like blonde mustache, handlebar mustache, and all that. Always has class.
The best thing about Hulk Hogan is undoubtedly his overuse of the word brother.
Oh yeah.
Brother.
What are you gonna say, brother?
What you gonna do, brother?
What you gonna do when Hulk Hogan rumbles on you,
Brother.
brother?
Nah, it's one of them. And the thing is as well, is people say, oh, it's fake, oh, it's shit. You know what? I'm gonna say an argument, and whether it's agreeable by you two or by whoever's listening or whatever, wrestling is not shit. This whole thing that they're doing at the moment, this whole, you know, having WrestleMania during all this, okay, there's arguments to be made that it's benefiting them, because it is. It is, of course it is. They're going to make money from it regardless. But it's also there as well as an escape for people. Like, it's also there for people to just turn it on, and essentially there's 16 matches, which WrestleMania tends to be 4 or 5 hours, but obviously with this I'm not sure how long it'll be, but it probably will. 16 matches, I think you can probably get through 2 matches an hour, so it's probably going to be about in between 4 and 5 hours each night. So that's, tell you what, say maximum 10 hours worth of content that you can just submerge yourself in and forget about the coronavirus and all the stuff that's going on and all the worries just for a bit. So that they're providing an escape for people to do that, and ultimately we're trying to do the same. Obviously, we said in the first episode that was the whole reason we wanted to start something like this, just to give people that kind of outlet and that thing just to listen to and you know, get away from what's going on. So if anything, they're using their whole power, because they've got more power than we have, to do the same thing that we're trying to do. So, you know, you've got to admire that in a sense.
Yeah, but they're obviously not just doing it for that reason, they're doing it to make money as well.
Well, yeah, of course. But it's one of them.
That's what it's all about.
They've been in an episodes of SmackDown and Raw. They've been doing flashbacks. Like last night on SmackDown, they showed when Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair at WrestleMania. They showed that full match, and you know, that replaced like half an hour's worth of what would be wrestling, I suppose. because they're limited, aren't they, with the superstars that they can use. Like Jeff Hardy was on one of them not last week, the week before. He came back and he fought Baron Corbin, but then you've not seen him since. So there could be something wrong with him. But he was on when they had no audience. So, people, obviously wrestlers they're going to get ill as well. So like, this is all very dependent on whether they're healthy or not as well. But
That's it.
But yeah, I can honestly say that I will be tuning in tonight and watching it. I know you two won't, but I will. I'll give it a go.
How much did it rushing you?
Pardon?
How much it costing you?
Well, I've got the WWE Network for stuff like this. Like, if there's ever a big pay-per-view that I'm interested in, I'll watch it. And NXT pay-per-views are always class. They're on a Saturday night as well. So you can get away with watching them because, obviously, if you don't have to get up for work on a Sunday morning, do you? So, or most jobs.
Well,
Sometimes
you do, don't you?
Sometimes I do, yeah. But it depends, because obviously with the coaching and with the footy, I'll get up earlier in the morning than I would have done if I didn't do it. But and if I don't often have work then, because they're quite good work. They work around my football. But if I don't have football, that's a bonus, because then I can sleep in. But I like watching NXT because obviously, like I said before, it's better than Raw or SmackDown. The superstars are better. The story's better. The whole thing, in my opinion, is just better. So I like watching that, and that's on the network. So I've got the WWE Network. It's £10 a month, but it's free for new subscribers. So if you went on it tonight and you subscribed, you could watch Mania tonight and tomorrow, and then you could cancel it on Monday morning, and you wouldn't incur any charges or anything like that. So essentially, you just got Mania for free. But then obviously, if you wanted to watch it again, or you wanted to watch any other pay-per-views on Mania next year, you'd have to then pay for it.
Yeah.
So, but then having said that, a tenner for WrestleMania, when we watched it not so long ago, well, a couple of years ago, we paid something like 20 quid for it. So,
Yeah.
And it, like on box office, it's something like 20 quid, and it's only on BT as well, I believe. So I suppose it's good that it's £10 a month is pretty good, and you get everything. You get the archives of every match that's ever every pay per view that's ever aired. So it is quite. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a big wrestling fan, it is good. It is good to go up. But yeah, so yeah, that's our take on WrestleMania, albeit rather limited to what we know. But yeah, I guess that's that then.
That's that.
Thank you very much.
That is that.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Jack,
And
I feel like you're the one to say the subscribe stuff. To be honest, you did it well last time.
Oh yeah. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for more content.
Yeah, if there's anything that you want us to discuss, feel free to
Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah,
Anyone you feel like we missed out of the wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, feel free to let us know. If you want to abuse us, feel free. Just try and aim it at Sean. I'm joking. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and yeah, see you later.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.